How was Of the Trees?
Oh, dude. In Telluride, Camp Alderwild, Of the Trees, Jade Cicada, and company. Crazy. Really good time. Lots of fun. To see that come back to Telluride was pretty epic. I mean, it was my first experience seeing something like that in Town Park, and I couldn't believe the production they put on between the screen, the visuals, the lighting, the music. Production was chef's kiss.
Yeah. I heard somebody ordered some rain.
Yeah, there was some rain that came in. Yeah. Yeah. Special delivery, dude. With the lasers. Oh my goodness. I never seen anything like it.
It was like glitter.
It was like glitter, dude. I was just looking up, and then you'd like look behind. You'd turn around for a second, and there's just lasers mapping out in the sky in the background. Oof.
Yeah. I always like how they light those trees up behind the stage. You know, it's like such a nice little backdrop. They got those like slow light faders on them, and it was really beautiful. I got a couple videos from you guys while you were out there, so
it was good,
dope.
man. The energy was high, like it was dancey, you know. It wasn't like downbeat or melodramatic or anything like that. Like it definitely went in waves, but it was so upbeat and dancey. Like I was having a great time dancing with the homies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get in the crowd, you're migrating around, you're like, oh, you look around after a bit and you don't see anyone you recognize, but at the same time you're surrounded by friends. Beautiful.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I love shows in Telluride Town Park. It is really like one of the most gorgeous venues I think I've ever been to, where I mean, once you're in the park, you feel so teeny tiny.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're just surrounded by this, like, horseshoe of, like, mountain. And there's a band on stage playing. They're projecting all their shit at you. And you know they're on stage like, damn, this is what's up. You know, like, this is the venue. And I'm so glad to see, like, a little EDM make it back into Telluride. I feel like it was, like... Pretty Lights was like the last one. I feel like that was like 7 years ago. And oddly enough, we had homeowners in town, like second homeowners. And they were like, oh, well, our plates that were on the wall were rattling and we just can't I'm like, why were your plates on the wall?
Yeah, you don't need fine china like that.
Yeah, like your plates were on the wall rattling. You should have been in the park dancing. And so I'm glad that this went off really well. You know, I feel like the only thing I've heard about it so far is positive feedback.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree right there with you. Like, I was working in town and I was seeing everyone, like, kind of pour in to the town. And everyone was super respectful. I mean, even at the venue. Not any trash that I seen. Everyone was just respectful of each other's space, of their environment, of their vibe. And like, to be honest, after night one, when we were rolling into night two on Saturday in the morning, they had a pop-up set with Of the Trees in Mountain Village. And so everyone had to kind of wake up early, hop on the gondola and get up into Mountain Village. And there had to be at least 300 people in village core, just dancing, enjoying the music, starting the day off right. And when that crowd dispersed, there wasn't any trash. There wasn't any remnant that there had been 300 wooks dancing, going nuts in village core.
Those tattooed freaks.
Yeah, right? Yeah. There's a post on Telluride rants about these Telluride freaks, but at the same time really exposing how respectful they were and how it's a great crowd. And it's a different crowd that Telluride's not used to. But to be honest, it was a beautiful sight. And they respected the town. They appreciated the beauty. They got out and about. And they, you know, were buying things, like contributing to the economy. Like, it's a good boost.
Yeah, I remember on Friday I was rolling into town and I had a couple of friends ask, like, oh, what's the scene look like? And I was like, well, I saw a lot of flat brim hats and a bunch of wraps and cool looking people. Saw a bunch of cool pants. Like, I was like, damn, those people know what's up. And so I was excited. A bunch of my homies got to go. I'm glad that you got to go. I did not go, but I got to live vicariously, and I slept a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you missed out on a lot of good fishnet.
I know.
You're talking about pants. I'm talking about fishnet. I'm talking about the lack thereof.
You talking about fishnet? Are we talking about fishnet?
Oh, yeah, man. I got caught in a net or two.
All right, y'all. We are here with episode 5. This is Break the Cypher. Thanks for joining us. If you're still with us, you know the story has been heating up. But here's the truth. Since our last episode, something even we didn't expect has happened.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, there's like the unexpected happening, and that's why we're covering this case so closely. And so the town of Telluride, right? They vanished, and not legally, not physically, but administratively. Radio fucking silence. They're nowhere to be found.
Yep. No replies, no updates, no rulings. And the cherry on top, our judge, the infamous Lieberman, he just disappeared from the town's website. No more contact information, no more Telluride hearing officer for marijuana, tobacco, and alcohol, I believe. Just gone off the website. You can't look him up. You can't find out how to contact him. No email, no phone number. Just gone. Poof.
Vanished in thin air like an NPC. I mean, what? How does that even happen? Like, scrubbed from the records.
Yeah.
Someone that was the hearing officer of this case and was, the go-to for, like you said, tobacco, marijuana, I believe alcohol. Completely vanished into thin air like this man never existed.
Yeah. I actually got a call from the paper, and they're like, hey, do you know why Mr. Lieberman's contact information is completely gone from the website? They were like, it was just there, but now I can't find it anywhere. We can't contact. They're trying to get comment, trying to get a statement from him on what happened or anything that they could list in the paper. And they're actually calling me to find out how to get a hold of this person, which I haven't been able to really get a hold of since 2022. I've been trying.
You guys don't have a side text chat going on?
No. I got several emails out to the man, but he never gets back. And so I'm like, I don't know. Like, even the contact information that was there wasn't working. But turns out it was like, he gone.
Damn.
He gone.
Scrubbed completely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty telling. Not only the silence from the town of Telluride, but the fact that the hearing officer of the case is now vanished into thin air. I mean, it's like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, boom. Like, what do you do? And who do you contact? Where do you get the information from? And all in the meanwhile, we're waiting to get the information from the Marijuana Licensing Authority to find out what happened at the actual hearing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I'm right here with you. And so we can rewind back to August 13th. And that's when the continued hearing was scheduled. But Alpine didn't show. They were not in attendance.
Yeah, we didn't go. Not because we forgot, not because we were scared, but because we're not playing pretend with a licensing process that's been broken from the start. Like, we don't want to validate a process that we've been saying is invalid from the beginning. From the point that we didn't get responses in March or April, or our formal motions were not answered or applied to. And so at this point, we're like, nah, let's seal it. This is where the record stops. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, so basically, Alpine told the town in writing that you have ignored every major motion that we've filed, and you refuse to submit the administrative record to the court. On top of that, you threatened our business with a marshal and didn't even pretend to be impartial to that. Like, the fact that you said on the record, we have the clip, we can roll that clip, that, if this comes to it, we'll have to get the marshal involved and we'll lock up the doors and you won't have access to the very lease that you're paying for because of a licensing renewal dispute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do have that clip. I looked it up. It's a solid clip, it's a threat. And I remember being in the hearing, and I remember hearing the words, and then I remember hearing pauses as if they were like waiting for me to say something. And I'd wait. And then they would say something else, and then they would wait. And I said nothing, but it was all about how, if we didn't comply, if we didn't give them what they were looking for, that they were going to walk us over there with a marshal, lock up our door, deny us access, and put signage up, just like completely overrun the property, And so like that was the message that was received, like, oh, okay, if we don't do what you say, you're going to like chain our doors, which was actually brought up. There was like a locking mechanism that they were going to use.
I mean, it just seems like this kind of retaliatory action, it's not the first time they've done this. I think from the very first hearing, they expected you to show up with, a whole group of supporters and make a whole scene out of it. But instead, Alpine acted responsibly and said, all right, if you want to bring this to a hearing, we can do that. And they had these languages and these verbiages that kind of baited Alpine Wellness into, here's what we're going to do. Do you have any, long pause? Are you going to do anything about it? And Alpine was sitting back like, this sounds like it's illegal.
Yep, I ain't scared.
Yeah.
I ain't scared. We said what we needed to say.
Yeah.
And in our notice of non-attendance, we said it. We were like, look, this is over. The writing's on the wall. And we walked. Because you can't validate a process that you've already called invalid. And to show up and continue to participate is like, it's validating. But it's like, who are we dealing with? We're dealing with like lawyers who are telling us what we have to do. They're ignoring the court. They're ignoring the Constitution. They're ignoring the codes and the regulations set forth by the state and the town. It's like, nah, we don't have time for this. Submit your information to the court. And so we walked.
Yeah. Wow.
Boom.
And after that, guess what? Wouldn't you know it? The town went dark, right? So since then, nothing. There's not been one reply to Alpine's objections to the May and July hearing minutes, their license surrender, and Alpine's legaling files against the town of Telluride, because they have not been upholding the very code in which the town has established in relation to communications, correspondence, and due process.
Mm-hmm. I mean, since August 11th, which was 2 days before the hearing, we have sent five emails, 5 formal letters protesting the May minutes, protesting the July minutes, the notice of non-attendance, the surrender. And we have no answer to a single one. They're like ghosts. But these ghosts have control of your livelihood. And not only that, like these ghosts, they're paid for by the taxpayers. They are there to respond. They are there to adhere to the laws. They are there for us. We are the taxpayers. We don't even get acknowledgement. 5 different emails, including an email saying, hey, can you provide us with the rulings, the orders, or anything from the hearing? But we don't get that. We actually find out about all that from the newspaper.
Yeah. Wow. The newspaper that's reaching out to you saying, wait, David Lieberman, the one that's in charge of this whole hearing, the hearing officer, is now scrubbed and we can't even find his information. Like the newspaper, the Town of Telluride's Daily Planet newspaper is coming to Alpine Wellness saying, do you know how we can get information, or do you know anything on this? I mean, it really does boggle the mind. And I think there's a lot of scrambling behind the scenes going on from the town, in my opinion, based on the facts that I've seen. And so it's just very interesting. And just to be crystal clear, so those hearing minutes that we mentioned, they left out everything, the motions, objections, due process warnings, they're gone. They're deleted like it never happened. And that's public record. That should be noted and accessible to the public.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty wild to omit those things from the record. When you have a prosecuting side, you have a defending side, you have a judge, and the defending side is saying, hey, this is a constitutional problem. I object to this. I file a motion on this. You guys didn't respond to our motion. None of that makes it into the minutes. And so that's why there's an objection to the minutes. I mean, you ever go looking for the judge assigned to your case and he's just like, he's missing? He's just gone? Like that? And the town won't respond to any of your emails? None of them. Like, isn't that something?
It just seems so lopsided. And the very same town has rulings and regulations and codes and ordinances in place to prevent this. And they're failing to adhere to their very own rules, regulations, and it's just perplexing. I can't see where their position would be. And so Alpine, in my opinion, has been not given a fair treatment from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we can all agree on that. Nobody would really want to be treated this way. I feel like, just personally speaking, where it's like, since February, we've been trying to get clarification. We've been trying to figure out what the town needs and what code within the town or within the state would put them in the place to even ask for it. And they can't do it. They still haven't done it. They still haven't responded to that. And it's just like, so what is this? I looked up it's a picture of the welcome sign to the Town of Telluride, and it says, the Town of Telluride, welcome. And then it says, a civil liberties safe zone. And man, did I think to myself, like, wow, that is not the correct branding right now. I know that the people of Telluride would support that being their brand. But the agents of Telluride are not supporting that.
No, definitely.
Pretty wild. I mean, it was just very blatant. It's on the record. You can get the recordings. You can listen to what we've been saying. But this is not a civil liberties safe zone after all.
No, I mean, they might have to scrub that from the sign. It seems like they're scrubbing things from the website. I mean, that's written blatantly on the sign. And I mean, I feel like historically, Telluride has been a place where people of all different beliefs and, backgrounds can gather and represent themselves in a safe manner and know that, it's respected. There's always going to be different viewpoints between citizens and things like that. But when it comes to local municipalities and the codes, there's a reason that that's written in writing as a code in the statute, is because that needs to be followed. And I mean, the fact that that's not being adhered to is appalling. And so here we are, and so that's what brings us to Lieberman, the guy that's rubber stamping every town filing, and now he's just gone and he's disappeared into thin air. It's a head scratcher.
Yeah. I feel like just as a recap, it's like, Lieberman's the judge, Town of Telluride attorney, that's the prosecuting party, and then we have Alpine as the defendants. And so we have the prosecuting party telling the hearing officer, Lieberman, the judge, what to do. And he actually has zero legal analysis of his own. He's just like, I'll do what these guys say. And who are these guys? These guys, the town attorney is Kevin Geiger. He is in charge of everybody's behavior and actions and making sure it stays constitutional. Then we have Jason Wilson, the assistant town attorney. He's delivering the message. Lieberman, he's supposed to be a neutral judge. He is enforcing the message. So he is like the town's puppet in this case. However, as a hearing officer, you are supposed to remain as a neutral arbiter. You are not supposed to appear to be on one side or the other. However, Alpine Wellness has had every motion, objection, formal letter denied or ignored, and everything the Town of Telluride attorneys have sent to Lieberman has been approved, rubber stamped, as you are saying. And so we filed a Cora request on August 20th. And we asked for the internal discussions about Alpine Wellness. We asked for any records about removing Lieberman's info from the website because, folks, it has disappeared. And then we've also asked for emails between every major player, Piper, Geiger, Wilson, Kavanaugh. We had a municipal court clerk there named Melissa. Any discussion that has occurred between any of these parties, we have requested documentation for it because you want to know why? It's public information. These are your taxpayer dollars. And when conversations are going on amongst parties and they are devising a plan or communicating with each other or, deciding that we're going to take the hearing officer's contact information off the website. I mean, we don't know if he's fired or if he quit or if he's gone. But the fact is that that's public information. And so a Cora request has been filed. And at this point, I still haven't heard anything.
No. Yeah. Again, just waiting on a response. But let the record know that Alpine has asked time and time again. This is not, they filed this Cora request, but there has been previous communications asking for updates. And there's been no response. And again, here we are with no response.
Yep. I mean, the only way we found out that the town, the only way we found out what the town thought of our August 13th decision was from the newspaper, which I brought up before about how inappropriate. And that's not because Alpine has been silent. We sent the town an email on August 13th after the hearing asking for the ruling, asking for the information. We didn't find out about it until the next week. And we found out about it because the town provided the Telluride Daily Planet with a statement. Jason Wilson did. He didn't take the time to provide us with a statement or to provide us with a ruling. We found out through the newspaper. They have no formal filing from the Town of Telluride. And that is just wild. I mean, I feel like it just adds to the laundry list of their behavior that I'm talking about. You know?
No, I hear you. I'm right there with you. And that's where we see on August 15th that the town attorney told the paper, the Telluride Daily Planet, that Alpine had walked away and that we declined to respond, which is a real stretch on the truth. It's like you said, they're not replying to you, but they'll give the paper a very blanketed statement saying they walked away. That is not what happened. Alpine was under duress and because of that, had to surrender their license under protest. This was not voluntary. They did not walk away. It's such a stretch that they would even say that to kind of cover up their lack of communications when there's still so many unanswered questions and unanswered replies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, in the surrender letter, it's like, this is not a voluntary surrender in the legal sense. You know, we didn't decline to respond. We submitted, we filed, we objected and protested. They just didn't want to acknowledge it, and they didn't. Like, I'm talking email after email after email. It did not get responded to. The citizens and the businesses of the town of Telluride need to know that the people that they are paying to act on their behalf, are acting this way. Because it's important. Maybe you're not a marijuana business, but maybe they have some sort of personal vendetta with you. And maybe they think they can do whatever they want. The point is that they can't. There are rules. There are laws. There's our Constitution. And we all operate underneath it. It's like you can't do what you want. And you can't make up stories. And Alpine definitely has a paper trail that shows the whole thing. And so it's really interesting to think about not attending the hearing. It was a really, really hard decision. But attending the hearing is a validating factor. And what we've been saying all along is that this process is no longer valid. We haven't been given due process. We've been asked to self-incriminate ourselves. We've been teamed up against lawyers and quote-unquote judges or hearing officers, and it's blatant to see. And so we sent a letter of non-attendance. So we responded. We didn't ignore them. We continued to be compliant, and we sealed the record right then and there.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And I think that the town of Telluride using the verbiage "walked away" is so incomplete in the reasons that you just mentioned. And on top of that, the fact that this business has been established, operating legally, lawfully, paying taxes, giving the town of Telluride money through the tax revenue for like 15 years. This isn't some new business that came into town and applied for a license or anything like that. This is an established business that's been a part of the community and contributing to the town's economy for well over a decade. And so I think that needs to be said as well. And so they did not decline or walk away. They were filing, but instead of showing up to this hearing and giving that validation, they went with a legal reply. And in response, they got a PR move, straight to the press. They responded to the newspaper, but never to Alpine Wellness.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, I mean,
I really feel like that's crazy. Just to think, like, what do you think? Like, we're just not gonna tell them. We're just gonna make Lieberman disappear.
Yeah,
in
thin air. It's some Scooby-Doo shit. Like, you think you found the villain, or you think you've come to the end of this, or there's gonna be at least someone to pull the mask off, and guess what? It disappears, poof, in thin air. Yeah. And now the newspaper is coming to you saying, do you know anything about this?
Mm-hmm.
No, because we haven't gotten a response at all.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know you could witness protection someone from a .gov page. I didn't. And it's like getting dumped via Facebook status change.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I'm like, baby, I thought we had something going. I saw you change your status. Like, what the heck happened? And she won't call you back. What the hell?
Dude.
Just over. It's over between us, Mr. Lieberman.
I guess it's like that, though, huh? Jeez, man. I mean, they pulled that Coldplay CEO move. They didn't even, the wife, they didn't even, change the status. They just deleted the profile. They're like, you know what? We're out.
Dude, I was watching a Coldplay video the other day on Facebook, and somebody was holding up a sign. I think I couldn't read the sign, but I'm pretty sure it was like, "I'm asking her to marry me." The lead singer of Facebook, the lead singer of Coldplay, put him on the big screen, and you know what he did?
Huh.
He interviewed the guy.
Oh, shit.
He said, "Is this your real girlfriend?" And then he like shook his head yes, and he's like, "Are you sure there's nobody else at home with you that you're supposed to be?" Like full on interview. This guy's like standing there with a sign, like I think trying to propose, and like gets interviewed by the lead singer. And so I feel like even Coldplay is onto it. They're like, we got to keep doing these viral videos, man.
Dude, the Kiss Cam is doing some investigative journalism. Like, I'm serious right now. They're going to find Lieberman in the crowd, and he's going to duck and flee.
Yeah.
Like, spotted, and he's like, no, I don't exist.
Dude, he does exist. He's like, I looked him up. He's like a real estate attorney in Durango, Colorado. It looks like real estate or something like that. I don't know how he got involved with being a hearing officer, but if you listen to any of the hearings, it does not seem like he knows what he's doing. He's basically a placeholder, and that is what's alarming because a hearing officer is a very different position than placeholder.
Oh yeah,
but
that
yeah,
should
he's
be a
like
neutral party. I thought from the get-go, and I think his disappearance and vanishing act is even more telling that there's been bias from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Ever since he was hired, this federal question came up, like, are you complying with federal taxes? And it's like, federal taxes are really weird with cannabis industry right now. I mean, you like can't write off your business expenses. And so if you're going to side with the federal government on that, then like you're also participating in a crime. And the town is licensing the crime and collecting money on the crime. And so is the state. And it's like the states remain silent as well. And so what do you do when the town refuses to participate in its own process?
Yeah, at that point, you need to file with the court. And again, this time, a motion to compel. Alpine has every right to take this action, and I'm really glad to see that they're doing this because they did not walk away as was quoted in the newspaper. They were under duress, and this is a surrenderance under protest. And so, they filed with the court a motion to compel.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like, after I got the newspaper and after I got the town statement from the newspaper, I thought it was funny. The town was like, oh, well, we consider this case closed now. And my first response to that was, this is the end of the beginning. Period. It's the end of the beginning. And we are finishing out in court, and we are going to get judicial review. And so, we filed a motion to compel, and we also filed a motion to condition that on sanctions against the town. So if the town continues to not respond, which they're already like 45 days, 50 days late in responding to the court that could have hashed this out for us, no pun intended, it's like, hey, let's see the administrative record. Let's see what you guys got. Let's see what I got. Let's see what's right here. Because all I do know is that Americans have rights. Businesses have rights. Towns are required to follow them. I mean, Emerson, if you get arrested because a cop watched you commit a crime and they don't read you your rights, what happens?
Yeah, no, those Miranda rights are extremely important. If you do not get read your Miranda rights, that case can be thrown out.
Yeah. And so, guys, rights are important, And so we filed on August 20th. We're asking the district court to enforce the town's obligation to submit the record finally, even though it's 45 days late. And we want them to stop playing games. It's time to get real. Like we have real things happening. We have shut a business down. We have moved out. We have tried to help reassign a lease, And it's like these are actual damages that are occurring from a town who's operating outside of their jurisdiction and outside of their code. And so let's see what happens next. Like, let's please see the record here. Everybody wants to have a look at this point.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, everyone I know is engaged. And so this filing went into effect on August 20th, and they're citing Rule 106A4, the Colorado Constitution, the U.S. Constitution, And yeah, I mean, even potential civil rights violation under Section 42 USC, Section 1983. You know, this is legal code. And it's important because that's how we have our civil liberties and we have our rights. And that's why individuals and businesses alike need to stand up for those rights.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. I feel like the town attorney has more double standards than a Colorado ski lodge has black diamonds, my friend.
Ooh.
What?
Right?
Like, come on with these double standards. Who are you?
For real. Are we in the trees right now? Because I see a lot of different maneuvers going on.
That's what I'm feeling. That's what I feel. I feel like, the town attorney has yet to even show up to one of these meetings. That being said, he's been hanging out in the background. He's on the meeting minutes. He's hiding in some back room. He's the person approving everybody's actions. Yet he has nothing to say. He just has a assistant attorney out there and a hearing officer that we say are acting way outside of the law. And he has nothing to say. He's not on the record. And he's got other problems going on with the town. There's other parts of town. The housing authority in town is saying that the town attorney is operating with double standards and in an unfair way, and that his actions represent a political move depending on certain board members liking what he's doing and not what he's like, not liking what he's doing. And you know what? I wouldn't have thought it before, but now it's kind of starting to make sense. It's like, is this guy operating by the Telluride Code? Is he operating in the process at all? I don't know. I mean, we got a guy who's a hearing officer that seems like he does not know what he's doing. We have an assistant town attorney who just represents the town attorney and is just saying what the town attorney wants him to say. The town attorney is staying off the record, basically creating a scapegoat in this guy, this younger attorney. And it's like, where are you? Obviously, you're approving all of this stuff. And I don't know. I find it interesting, I really do. I feel like it's just a polite way of saying, Your Honor, this guy picks favorites like it's dodgeball,
Right. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. You're in the lineup and you're picking your friends because they got your back. But that's not how hearings and, public official discourse should be held. It's not picking your favorites and having a side. The whole point of having a hearing officer is to be non-biased, non-partial to this. And, when we go back and we review the meeting minutes, like the actual things that were said during the meeting, Lieberman is scrambling. He's looking through documentation, trying to figure out and catch up to what's being said, and then just looking over his shoulder to get answers.
Yeah, I mean, that's a painful clip. I remember at the hearing, he's like, I'm gonna read through this and give my legal analysis on each section. And just so you guys know, this is, you can find this at the July 29th hearing. You can look it up. If you want a clip from us, we'll give it to you. But all we know at the end of his legal analysis is that there are, in fact, at least 17 paragraphs, but there's no legal analysis offered on any. Nothing. We don't even know what most of the paragraphs say, just that the paragraphs exist. And it is the oddest thing in the world as I sit in the room and I listen to this individual dictating the lives of business owners and people and customers, and he really has no idea what he's doing or what he's reading. He's just taking in information from the town and processing it. And so it was very interesting. But yeah, that's the July 29th hearing. He does a full, that's a quote unquote for you just listening. He does a full analysis of the town statement, which is just nothing.
No, it's a whole lot of nothing.
It's a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of stalling, and like I said, just looking over your shoulder to kind of get answers or whatnot. And that's not the position of the hearing officer. And so, here we are with Kevin Geiger. And so there's some ethics complaints that are coming from a lot of different directions. And so if you thought, Geiger was busy enough gaslighting this case with Alpine Wellness, now he's got an ethics complaint against him from within the town itself. I mean, come on. It seems like there's just a lot of incompetence that's happening, and it's catching up to them in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all this aside, everything that we're saying, everything that we've been complaining about for months, a formal complaint was filed by members of the Telluride Housing Authority. Those complaints accused Geiger of applying dual ethical standards based on benefiting certain council members or not.
Wow.
Like, is this ringing a bell? Like, dual ethical standards? Like, who are you that you get to selectively enforce how the law is applied? Like, if it's not in the code, if it's not in the statutes, if it's not in the Constitution, then why don't you take a seat? Because we have laws for a reason, sir.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. And I mean, even in Telluride, I think it's one of the most difficult places in America to get housing and to have fair access to housing. And, it's the people, it's the workers that make this town operate. It's not the millionaires and billionaires that have second, third houses in this town. And so when we're talking about the Telluride Housing Authority, that's some serious shit. Like, I mean, that's your whole housing living situation. And so there's a direct quote here that has come from that. And it reads, "Mr. Geiger has failed to perform his job in a fair and unbiased manner." Wouldn't you know it?
And that's from the Housing Authority.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what's crazy. This is not just an isolated event.
No, it really isn't. And when it comes to housing, like, that is one of your most precious things. Like, that, you have your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Goddamn right.
Yes. And
goddamn right.
Living is the pursuit of happiness. You can't pursue happiness without equal housing standards. And if there's favoritism, if someone that is put in that position is not adhering to that, and he's failing to perform his job in a fair and unbiased manner, that is fundamentally wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not just Alpine. It's not just us saying this. It's people inside the machine, people watching the same abuse of power. It is playing out right in front of us, And it's like, we all need to pay attention. We all have felt a certain way. We have all maybe gone to town meetings. Maybe we have felt bulldozed. Maybe you've felt alone. Well, it's time to stand up. Get out there, push back. I hope this is a success story. If it's not, whatever. I ain't got no fear about that. It's time to stand up, though. Like, is this going the way that it is supposed to go? Is it permitted by law? Did something happen to you? Stand up and push back. That's all I'm saying. You can't just invent law. You can't invent what rights are rights and which ones aren't. Like, who are you? Just a mediocre softball player? Come on.
Dude can't even step up at the plate. No, it is seriously like a David versus Goliath story, right? Like, we, the people, have the power, and we've elected these officials to positions of power to represent us. And they've taken advantage of that power, and we've seen that in all levels of government, whether it be local, municipal, and even beyond that. And it's time for us to not take that anymore and stand up for our rights and come together as the people, because we hold all the power. We're the ones that are generating the economy and keeping the wheel turning. We've elected these officials to these positions of power, and what they've done is they've taken advantage of that fact, and they've gotten a little power hungry and power thirsty, and now they're making, decisions that aren't in accordance with not only the law and the code, but in accordance of what the people need. And what that is fair and unbiasedness. That's why they're elected. That's why they've been put in these positions of power. And it's just to see that slippery slope snowball into, political maneuvers and positioning and bias and favoritism. That's not okay. And that's why this case goes beyond that. And that's why we're seeing other authorities, the Telluride Housing Authority, stand up and say, hey, look, Geiger is not performing his job in a fair and unbiased manner. And that's not okay. We need to stand up for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's 2. Now we need number 3. Somebody else stand up. We're not saying that it's a conspiracy, but if this was a Netflix documentary, the music would be getting spooky.
It's getting black and white, baby.
I mean, they think silence is a strategy. That if they don't reply, we'll just disappear, right? We're the people. We don't have what it takes to stand up. We don't have what it takes to fight the fight or to keep going. We don't have the focus. We just care about the next this or the next that. Well, they're wrong. Am I right?
No. Yeah, they're exactly wrong, because we don't vanish. We're here. We're living every day. We're grinding. We file. We speak. We fight. We document. And we keep showing up here for you, for us, to make this voice heard, because it needs to be.
Amen. Amen, brother.
Yes.
Stay with us. Stay with us, people. Because the court hasn't ruled yet, and this story, it's just getting started. We have a long road ahead, and we're going to keep pushing. I hate to say it, but this is life from here on. We're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to prove that what was going on here was unjust, that the town was out of their jurisdiction, that they retaliated against us for our free speech on an issue that we answered correctly on an application. So get ready, because this ain't funny. My name's Mike G, and we about to get funny.
Ooh, baby.
What's up?
It's Break the Cypher. Every week, every angle, every violation, they hope we don't notice. No, we're watching. We're staying vigilant. We're out here, and we're letting it be known. We're speaking to it. And you're right here with us. Support us. Let us know you're with us, and let's come together and make some change from the ground up. That's what grassroots is all about, and that's what we're about.
Yep. Keep your voices heard, and let's go. We have our fundraiser thermometer still at boo. It's at 0 still, but we feel like all the emotional capital coming at us is really good right now. But we could use your support, so donate. We're trying to raise 100K, and we're going to make a thermometer, but we don't want to make it until it starts rising. So if you have $1, throw $1 in there. Then we'll make a thermometer. We'll make a thermometer. If they put $1 in there, we'll make a thermometer.
We'll do an ice bucket challenge.
Ice bucket?
We'll dive in a mountain lake.
Oh yeah, baby.
We can make it happen. You just let us know what you need to see for that donation, and we'll get it trending. I swear.
I need $1. That's what I need.
What I need.
Hey. Come on now. So let's get that temperature rising out here. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok. You can find us at Break The Cypher. On X, we are at Break. What's that called again?
Underscore.
At Break _The Cypher on X. Follow us. Contribute. Say what's up. Give us a like. Give us a comment. We need you. You can find us at breakthecypher.com. And we would love to hear from you. Y'all have been the best, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. You know what I'm saying, Emerson?
Oh, yeah. We out here. There's more to come. I tell you what, this is just getting started.
Amen to that. I'll see you guys soon, and have an amazing week out there.
We love you.
Peace.
Peace.